I should get the Lyman Masters trophy in the background.
Do you have it?
It's at my residence.
You have the Lyman Masters trophy?
Oh yeah, it's badass.
Well, you got to get that thing out.
I know.
I didn't realize you had it. You got to go get it.
Massive. Look at the size of this thing. Our names will go right here.
Look at that giant trophy. To the victor go the spoils.
It's incredible. It's extremely heavy. If all goes right, our names will be on that bad boy.
The Lima Masters, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everybody. We've got all kinds of things to talk about. The theme of today's podcast is shots. Okay? We're not just talking about your favorite Jaeger bombs. We're not just talking about the good stuff, Maker's Mark. We're talking about shots. El Presidente, okay? Old Donald Trump took a shot. And, I mean, the bullet grazed the man's head. This is not a political conversation. Make no mistake about it. I don't care which side you're on. The bottom line is that boy had a bullet take the top of his ear off. I would have stayed down for 5 hours, but he stood up and was like, bring it on. You know, that was pretty wild. Another shot that was taken was from a 4-time Grammy-nominated artist, Ingrid Andress. Some people fight the law, like Scotty Scheffler, we'll get to in a minute, and they win. When people fight alcohol, when they arm wrestle with the old booze, they don't win. Shortly after this performance, quote, I'm checking myself into a facility today.
For the land of the free.
To get the help I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to Major League Baseball, all the fans in this country I love for that rendition. I ain't gonna lie, I was drunk.
In the home of the brave.
So congratulations to her for taking a shot. And finally, Doug, continuing on our theme of shots here, Tiger Woods needed a lot of golf shots today in the first round of the Open Championship over the par 71 Royal Troon in Scotland. Oh, Tiger, he just won't stop doing it to himself. +8, he needed 79 golf shots to complete his round. Rory also needed 79 golf shots. You know, interestingly enough, there were only 3 shots better than our old John Daly. Old John Daly shoots an 82, never practices. He might play blindfolded at this point, but your boy Scotty, I fought the law and the law won. Excuse me, I fought the law and I won. Scheffler creeping around at 100 par 70. The leaders are currently Shane Lowry, Daniel Brown at 5 under, and Justin Thomas sneaking in there at 3 under par. Douglas, what do you think about our theme of shots this week? And how the hell are you over there in the Cincinnati area of this great state of Ohio today?
Well, I'm doing great. The weather is great. The humidity's down. Your list of shots was pretty good. That's a lot of shots fired this week. We could start with Trump. I mean, no matter what side you're on, if that bullet would have hit, I fear where we would be right now. Oh my God, the Civil War. It just would be ridiculous. What I mean. And then the fact that it didn't, it's like it's 2-3 days that went by, and it's almost under the rug. It seems with a lot of people already, and it's bizarre. It's just you just think about what could have been. Like you think back of Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying Trump's Martin Luther King by any stretch. What I'm saying is it's a historical figure that would have been crazy. I'm just very thankful, regardless that it was dodged. The national anthem singing, whoo-wee, that was horrible. But I'm not sure how many people even watched the baseball all-star game, so she might get a pass there. But let's talk British Open here. The Open Championship. The course is playing hard, extremely hard. The projected cut right now, if you were to double today's scores to tomorrow, is going to be about 7 or 8 over par. So some of these rounds, some huge names shot 4 to 7 over today. You mentioned Rory already. Ludwig Aberg shot 4 over. Hovland was 4 over. There's some big names that were well over par today. Anybody under par. I mean, Scheffler's a 1 under. He birdied 18. God, he's so clutch. He birdies 18. He's the clear favorite before the round started and after the round has been played. Shane Lowry's a one that's got a lot of success over there, so he's going to be one to watch the rest of this week. But Troon's a great course. It's fun to watch the Open on. It's the last time it was played there. Some remember it was an unbelievable duel between Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson 8 years ago. Some of the best played golf in a final round of a major by two guys you'll ever see. So hopefully we get some type of exciting finish like that. But I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of it today. I was pretty busy, but hopefully I can catch more of it the rest of this weekend because I love the carnage. Love it.
Have you ever played overseas? Have you ever played in Scotland or Ireland?
I mean, it's disappointing to say I've never been over there. It's been on my bucket list for years. I want a golf trip to Scotland or Ireland very badly, but no, I've not been there yet.
I have. I went over to Southern Ireland, Killarney, which is not very touristy. It's off the beaten path. Went with my dad about 25 years ago. And we played Ballybunion. We played Old Head, which is to this very day the most incredible golf course I've ever played. It's called Old Head. Look it up.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of it.
It's incredible. Ballybunion, we played an Arnold Palmer course over there. We played 4 courses, and I'm just going to tell you, it's not people watching this. It's a different game. There's the fairway. It's like hitting the tight lies. Like even when they're on the fairway, there's no flat surface on the fairway. The greens are impossible to. I mean, the breaks. So yeah, this and then the factor in the weather. Oh, what a nightmare playing golf in rain and wind. This is a great test of golf, and where golf was born, right? Isn't this where?
Yeah,
yep,
yep, absolutely.
All right, so your boy Scotty Scheffler currently is, in terms of the betting favorites, in spite of the fact what we're looking at the scoreboard, Scheffler is the plus 400 favorite. Lowry plus 500. Look at Xander Schauffele.
Oh yeah,
plus 550. All right, he's creeping. Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, and then Alex Noren are your top 6 betting favorites. I got to tell you something. I'm selling some stock. I'm selling some Ludwig Aberg. I got to sell some stock, and I'll tell you why. He's starting to show some loose wheels in that final round, in these final rounds, isn't he?
I mean, he had one bad Sunday.
No,
and
last week. No, he's had a couple.
Last week.
No, what about the U.S. Open?
I mean, he wasn't in the final group.
I'm selling my stock.
Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy that stock.
All right, you can have him.
I mean, not this week, but no, he's going to be around.
I'll tell you who else you can have. I'll tell you he's not winning.
Well, yeah, we're going to say the same name.
Justin Thomas.
Absolutely. You can have.
He ain't winning.
No.
We didn't plan that either.
80 tomorrow.
Oh no, he's
out.
Hey, God bless you, Justin, but no chance. So, all right. Well, look, Doug, you tapped on it. You're absolutely right. I don't think we live in this day and age now. This sensationalism where shootings, where just a couple 3 days later, people are just kind of moving on. I don't think people truly are grasping. You mentioned Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, JFK. Especially I want to focus on JFK because that is a Zapruder film where it shows his head getting blown like a pumpkin, literally just getting blown. I mean, we were inches away from seeing that on live, in color. That bullet, just do this to your ear. Not a golf ball, not a fist. That was a bullet out of a high-powered assault rifle that whizzed by his temple, took off the top of his ear. Thank goodness now all we have to look at is I've got the gauze pad on my ear. All right, Douglas. So why don't we welcome some new listeners from New York, New York. Welcome, Big Apple. Medina, Ohio. Welcome. How about Shawnee, Kansas? Okay, not Shawnee from Lima. We've got plenty from there. We have Shawnee, Kansas. And Douglas, How about Germany? We are now in 3 countries. That's right. 1, 2, 3. Germany, Amsterdam, and the good old United States of America. 3 countries, 45 cities, growing like a weed, growing like a fungus. You know, we suck. You know we suck. I know we suck. They all know we suck. But boy, we're trying. We're trying together, aren't we? We're trying together. I tell you. How about some fan feedback? Dude, all caps. I, period. Live, period. In, period. North Carolina, exclamation mark, all caps. Also, I'm in for the Knights of the Round Table idea. Matt from Virginia.
What?
Exactly. Remember, so
Did you get that
last
mixed
week
up? That must have been on you.
I've mixed it up very,
I
very
thought he was in
badly.
North Carolina, but I didn't want to say anything.
Well, last week I had what makes it funny is I was truly last week I was saying, my bad. I thought he was from I was getting it backwards unintentionally. So I was saying he was from Virginia. This whole time I thought it was North Carolina. He's from Virginia. When in reality I had been screwing it up saying he was from Virginia. So he's like, dude, I live in North Carolina. So unfortunately for him now he's always going to be Matt in Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, we could just say East Coast. I mean, let's just get this over with.
No, it's Matt in Virginia.
That's fine.
And by Virginia, we mean North Carolina. Fan feedback number 2 from Ryan in Lima.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. You know, I have to side with Carrie on this one. Et tu, Brute? You are the creator and king of Perv Mountain. I am merely your jester. Knights of the Round Table, however, I'm in. So, my boy Ryan, you've got your friend. I mean, we think it's one of your friends telling you that you got a tooth missing and a lisp. Here's one of my best friends giving me the, hey, I'm going to side with Carrie with a K from Columbus. Shame. I mean,
It's not right.
it's not right.
No.
But he's in for the 419 Knights of the Round Table.
Well, he may have lost his spot with that comment. I don't know.
Listen, you make a great point. He may have to
Redeem himself.
He might have to write up a what do you call that, a retraction?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Okay, he might have to write up a retraction.
Yeah, or you don't just come out and say something like that without factual data, or give us a retraction and right the wrong you just made. Simple.
My soul is so pure.
People don't understand how pure your soul is at times.
There's
Oh well.
there's been times where I've accidentally caused exorcisms just by shaking someone's hand. I'm just shaking a hand and they're like, and like demons come out. I'm like, sorry, yeah. You've seen it, Doug.
I mean, I don't know. That's just.
You've seen it happen. You've
sit right
seen it
with me.
happen.
False claims don't sit right with me.
We don't. That's not how we do it here.
No.
All right. So we've touched on the Open Championship. Okay. We're touching into the world sports here. We've got Bronny James in the summer league of the NBA. He needs some work. He needs some polish, I think would be the.
He had a good game last night.
Oh, do tell. I was just saying.
9 points. Yeah, I think he was like 6 of 8 from the field, one of 2 from 3. It's funny. Bronny, he's under this microscope. I mean, everything he does.
Of course.
2 nights ago they put up. People probably don't even know the name Alex Sarr or Star.
Oh for 15.
He's the 2nd overall pick. He goes 0 for 15, no points, playing like 39 minutes, and there's not a word of it. And this G League, these guys are getting they're getting acclimated to pro life. They've had to move. Everything. Their whole world is changing, and they're trying to get acclimated to this new. It's summer league for a reason. Nobody's supposed to watch for a reason. And here, Bronny's getting I'm not saying he's going to be great in the NBA or anything like that, but my God, just leave him alone. Let's wait till the season starts.
The problem is obviously all the reporting everything points to nepotism in the wrong
But who
ways.
cares? It's been
Well, I
done
mean, they got a
before.
job to do. All the talking heads have a job to do. Okay,
Okay, but
they have a job.
where was everybody for the last 6 years when Giannis Antetokounmpo has made the Milwaukee Bucks roster his brother, who everyone knows is the worst player in the league,
But he's entertaining.
but he's required to be on the Bucks because Giannis says so. That no, not a word about that. It's been done multiple times. J.R. Smith of the Knicks, that he made the Knicks have his brother on the roster back in the day. This is not new. This stars guys have done this in the past. So spare me,
Well,
spare me.
you seem a little excitable about the
Well,
subject for
I'm a
some
LeBron
reason.
guy, and I've got a lot of
Well, I don't
buddies
think anybody's.
who are not
It's
LeBron
not that big
guys.
of a deal.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. Drives me crazy.
Well, I think in fairness, I think those other examples you just gave, the guys on the team were pros on their own, meaning Giannis's brother was a pro. No, you can make that face all you want to, but that's the truth.
No,
And
he got
Bronny James,
incorrect. He was drafted just like Bronny was by the Bucks, due to Giannis. Same situation.
I'm not arguing with you. All I'm saying is it seems like, and I know Bronny had the heart condition. He had a very poor showing his freshman year at USC. I think it's reasonable to say that if it wasn't LeBron's son, he wouldn't have been drafted. He might have made a team via contract or free
100%.
agent.
I completely agree with you. There's no doubt
That's all.
that Bronny was drafted because of LeBron. Nobody's saying that, but don't act like this has never been done before. And it's only being glorified with Bronny, and it is what it is.
Can I say one more thing?
Business move.
When LeBron is as a sports figure outside of the sports world, he's done some incredible things. And when we talk about when I take jabs, I'm talking about in this world of sports. Okay, he's unlikable. He's unlikable. He's made himself unlikable. He really whines and he cries and he gets coaches fired and he hides behind, and then he wants his little, and then for Christ's sake, he named his kid Bronny. Come on, man. Give the kid a chance. Bronny. Hey, Bronny. You got to name. How? Come on, man.
He named his kid LeBron James Jr., and they call him
Bronny.
What did Michael Jordan name his kid?
Pete?
No. I believe he has a son named Michael Jordan. I believe
he does.
I believe so. Yeah.
And whatever happened, that's a tough day. That's a tough gig. Is that kid any good at basketball?
Happened to Hall of Famer Phil Collins in Chicago? How'd that work out?
What? Wait a minute. First of all, is Michael Jordan's son any good at basketball? Because if not, that's too bad.
He's too busy taking care of Scottie Pippen's ex-wife at this point.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. They're together. Yeah.
Michael Jordan's son, Mikey, is.
Oh yeah, I think
he's with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think that's I think they've been together for like a year now or something.
What's that? Oh yeah. How does that happen?
I don't know. However, Michael has had coaches fired. Michael named a son after himself. Michael's whined to refs. The media is so much worse now. I agree that
Michael's allowed to do that.
So is LeBron.
No.
So is LeBron. And LeBron is under a bigger
Michael's allowed to do those things.
What are you talking about? LeBron is unlikable at times. I'm not going to say he's not, but again, the media and the coverage in this era compared to MJ's era is night and day, and it's tough. Every little thing gets called out. Every flop. Every whine to the ref.
LeBron's. You get it. He's unlikable.
I know, but he's awesome. He's awesome.
So, what would you say, Phil Collins? You said Hall of Famer Phil Collins. What'd you say?
The coach for the Bulls. Doug Collins. I said Phil Collins. By the way, Phil Collins, fantastic singer. Doug Collins.
But Phil Collins is a saint. Don't bring Phil Collins into this.
Understood. That was a bad mistake.
Yeah, Jesus, in the air tonight. Shame on you. God bless that man.
God bless Phil Collins.
Holy cow! You brought Phil Collins into this.
Doug Collins, great coach, fired by MJ. It's
I don't
yeah.
know
Well, you should
actually.
look. People don't know because they don't remember coverage wasn't like it is now. But they remember
Well,
LeBron.
okay, so he has one. LeBron has 5. Congratulations. Don't just stop. You're a Cleveland sports fan, Homer. That's clearly your flaw in life. Otherwise, you'd be up here with me. But unfortunately, you hold yourself back with ridiculous takes like that. Speaking of sports, college football, just a few days away. We're about a month away from college football, Douglas, and it's never too early to start talking about degenerate gambling and point spreads. Our fans need it. The Ohio State Buckeyes on August the 31st at 3:30 in the p.m. take on the Fighting Zips of Akron in the shoe. And Ohio State is a 49.5 point favorite right now. Douglas, I'm going to tell you something right now. Here's what I know. Akron football last year and the year before. I want to tell you this. They've been down. Let's just put it that way. They've been down, down, down. So we have Ohio State, a 49.5 point spread. What are your thoughts? Come on. We want
Well,
winners.
yeah,
We need winners here.
it's early. I will say week one is typically one of the toughest weeks to bet.
Yeah.
Big point spreads like this in week one typically don't go well. But man, you're right. Akron's so bad.
There's no way you can take Akron in the
No,
points
you
in this.
can't. You're either betting Ohio
There's
State.
no
You're either
way.
betting Ohio State or you're not betting the game. You're not taking Akron. I mean, the game's going to
That
be 35-0 at half. But the question is, where do we go from there? If that's what it is, does
right,
Ohio
right.
State get off to a slow start? Does Akron get that first possession and go? It's 7-0 Akron for a minute, which can happen. The first week is tough. You know the guys are excited; they want to come out, but it sounds easier than it is. The quarterback and receivers are new. The timing of the play calls are new. The offensive line together is new. There's stuff to work out. There are kinks. You're not executing on all levels. So if Akron scores 7 points, that means the Buckeyes got to score around 60 to cover, which is, in week 8 that's no problem. In week 1 that's challenging. I got to get a little closer here. That's a tough one. Right now I'm laying off that game. That's
You know what's interesting is it looks like the over under is like 57.
exactly. So I mean, they're thinking
So
if Akron
yeah,
scores, it goes over. Or does Akron get a field goal and it's 52-3? I mean,
here's what I'll say as a former sports gambler, as we know, I was a former drinker, sports gambler. Here's what I'll say. And I think, Doug, where we can help here is with the maybe the younger, maybe the less experienced sports gamblers out there. That 50 points looks pretty tasty. It looks tasty, especially if you're down. If you're down, if you owe the man a few hundred, few thousand, if you're down to your book, it starts to get really scary. To lay in points, you start making plays like, okay, desperate plays like I'm going to take the 50 and just hold on for dear life. Let me explain this to you very clearly. Right? You know what I'm talking about. As soon as that ball gets kicked, you're like, oh shit, well, I'm in trouble. Do not take Akron in the points. Do not, just don't. Okay. Akron they're bad. They're bad. And it's either Ohio State, and don't mess with the total either. You either want to lay the points and hope Ohio State doesn't give up a late touchdown and win, 55-7 or not. So there's that. A couple other tasty selections from that day, Douglas. You got to give Clemson and Georgia some credit. They're going to kick off. They're going head to head. And Clemson and Georgia at a neutral site. Georgia's a 13.5 point favorite against the formidable Clemson Tigers. We also have Texas A&M minus the 1.5 against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Texas A&M 1.5 point favorite. And then Michigan, the defending national champions, 20.5 point favorites against Fresno State. That's just a few from a massive
yeah,
opening slate.
couple ones I like in there. Just those quick picks. Give me Fresno State all day long. And number 2,
Okay.
A&M A&M over at home against Notre Dame. Those were supposed to be two top 10 teams this year. Two very good teams, but Notre Dame, I just early in the year, that A&M crowd's going to be raucous. I like A&M in that game.
Yeah.
Early, I like A&M to win that game. I think Notre Dame's going to have a good year, but this is definitely one of their biggest hurdles right out of the gate.
The tough one right out of the gate. So there you go. Never too early. And then we've got the in the NFL, Dallas Cowboys up to a 17.5-point favorite in Cleveland week 1. I don't know if you.
Yeah, no, they're not.
They're not. They're really not. But it's a 1-point spread. Do you have any?
Yeah.
Do you change your mind on that at all?
I feel great about the Browns in that game. Woo! I mean, look, give me the 2-time coach of the year with all this time to prepare against Mike McCarthy. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, man. No.
It's going to be fun.
Come on.
The podcast we do after that game, it's going to be fun.
Right. It might be live from the stadium.
What's that?
It should be live from the stadium.
All right, folks, it's time for the nationally known fan favorite mailbag brought to you by Chad Verhoff, owner and master jeweler of Jackson Gray Jewelers in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Contact Chad today for any special, unique piece of jewelry you have thought of and want executed properly. Chad Verhoff, Jackson Gray Jewelers is the man. And 310 Labs, an indie gaming company made of 2 software engineers passionate about Playmates. YASS, yet another Spider Solitaire. Download for free today. Play the deal of the day. I know I do. It is quite addicting and, kick some ass. Douglas, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1, 42-year-old female, married to 43-year-old male, 15 years. We've recently discussed trying, quote, the swinging lifestyle, unquote, to spice things up. Do you have any experience or thoughts on the matter? Thank you, Amy from Florida.
Well, I don't have experience in the matter. I do have an opinion on the matter. Personally,
that's what you want.
Personally, I, as the male, would not be able to handle it. There's no way. It's no chance in the world am I sharing my wife in any situation and then overcoming that. Now, the idea at a party and all of a sudden that the idea of mixing it up sounds exciting, but if you sit back and think about it rationally, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to come around that. Everybody's different. Who knows where the relationship is? Maybe it's on the last string and they have nothing to lose. Maybe it's at a point where it's going to falter anyways if they don't try to do something. And, whatever. I'm just saying personally, no way. I would think this through. If you're on solid ground now, be careful.
No truer words have ever been spoken. Be careful. I actually do have experience. I've actually been friends with or been around multiple couples that have ventured into or dabbled with or currently still are in this lifestyle, as they say. Look, interestingly enough, this is where people get real judgmental real quick. Oh my God, how could people ever do that? Blah, 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 blah. Spare me. Just spare me. Okay. To each their own. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that personally, the benefits of that, that taboo being with someone different, do not outweigh the negatives of knowing that my significant other is also with someone different. And the noises they're making and the gestures they're making are different, and they're louder and they're more intense than they are with me. And I'm saying, what the hell's going on over there? I don't. Yeah, I don't want that. That's no good. That'd make me shrivel up real like, "Ew." Okay, that was fun. So those are the thoughts. Douglas says be careful, be very careful. And I also say be very careful. I would recommend researching it, talking to several people who have done it, because what is it, Doug? What's the expression? Once the cat's out of the bag, or once that toothpaste doesn't go back in the tube, once you be very careful with that one. Good question, though. Thank you, Amy. Number 2, 28-year-old female dating 28-year-old male. Over a year now. Everything's going great. However, we just moved in together. He leaves his dirty laundry everywhere, which in and of itself is bad enough. However, his underwear have, quote, poop stains, unquote, in them without fail. It is beyond disgusting, to the point that I want to back out of the 1-year lease we just signed. Please help. Thank you. Stephanie in Kansas City. Let's start with this, Doug. And be honest with our listeners. They demand and they deserve honesty. Do you regularly, without fail, have noticeable poop stains in the drawers that you take off and put into the laundry?
No, I do not. I do not.
Nor do I.
No.
Nor do I. No. I think so. So let's start there. I want to tell that young lady, I don't want you to think that that's normal. I don't think it's normal.
Clearly she does not think it's normal. So that's good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What else, Doug?
Well,
I mean,
I can't.
How does that happen?
How
does that happen?
I can't blame her. I mean, first of all, there has to be a conversation. If they're going to start out moving in together, she needs to be communicating with him and saying, "Hey, pick up your laundry. Pick up after yourself." I mean, they got to start somewhere, because that's going to be a whole ball that just grows and grows and grows until it can't be stopped. There's got to be some type of communication about that. As far as the poop stains, that is a tough challenge, I think, to bring that up. You've got to, or you just get out. I mean, you go talk to the landlord while he's not around. You see what you can do. You get a $100 gift card from a friend of yours to All My Sons, and a day he's
two men in a truck is All My Sons. Yeah,
and you pack your stuff up and you just leave, and you never come back. That's an option, a viable option as well. It's up to you. I don't know how much you like him. You either have to talk to him about it or you leave. That's it. What else?
We have several tiers here. Tier number 1 is the old, it's all fun and games until you move in with someone tier. Right? You're young, you're dating. It's all good. And you're like, hey, I got an idea. Let's live together. That's when shit starts getting real. That's when you start, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
all kinds of all kinds of little nuances. Like, why are you pooping with the door open? What do you mean? It's totally normal. No, it's not normal for. Oh, just little things, just leaving your clothes everywhere, or who knows what kind of goofy little habits everybody has. But here, number 1, we've got a look. It sounds like he's kind of a slob. That's number 1. We're a slob at age 23,
28,
22,
28.
28. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I threw that. Yeah, I'm looking at the next one. 28. Kind of a slob. But I'm not sure how you could have poop stains in your underwear. I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, it's
how, Doug? How do you is he digging in there?
no, I would imagine if you don't wipe well, and it just, as you walk around and stuff, it just rubs. I guess I don't know.
But you think like, well, see, you got to be like itching, like digging in
Yeah,
there.
probably. I mean,
That's disgusting.
it is
God bless
disgusting.
you.
I don't really like talking about it.
Well, I don't either. But we have to suffer through this for our
I feel
audience.
her.
And
I feel her pain from here. I get it.
the number three issue is Doug. Doug said, "Pull the landlord aside." The number three issue is we're talking about a 1 year. Yeah, the 1 year lease. You just have to. You have to. If I were you, I'd get a piece of paper. I'd draw out a scale, like with a pen or a pencil, and on one side of the scale, I'd put poop, slob. On the other side of the scale, I'd put financial cut, bait, loss. How much is going to cost of the lease? And if the poop and the slobbiness outweighs the couple grand you're going to be chucking up, you got to chuck it up. You got to cut the check. If you're like, yo, that's too much money, I can live with the poop and the sloppiness, there it is. But it's all going to come down to that scale that you draw on a piece of paper. I like the $100 gift card. You see how Doug brought that in from the last one. I like that. Slip him a little $100 gift. What's this for? Don't worry about it. All right. Last but certainly not least, question number 3. 24-year-old female dating 22-year-old male. Been dating since high school. Have always discussed the future and being married, etc. Both recently graduated college. I'm in the medical industry. He's in finance. Moved in together into a downtown apartment. She's writing from Chicago, by the way. Things have changed. He goes out now with his quote-unquote clients, gets in very late, 1 to 2 a.m. He constantly turns down sex and is now telling me that I've, quote, let myself go physically and I need to get back in the gym. I've gained 5 to 10 pounds since graduation, but nothing extreme. Starting to get worried. Do you have any advice? Lauren in Chicago. She's 24. He's 22. Okay. There you go.
I mean, Lauren, he's 22 years old, living in Chicago, just got out of school. He's been with you since high school. Let me tell you something. You're in for a rocky next 3 or 4 years with this cat because he's got some oats that he's going to sow, whether you're there or not. And the more you try to taint, it's a bad situation because he's clearly not mature enough and ready to do the things you want to do here in the future. He's not. He clearly doesn't want to settle down. He doesn't want to get married. He doesn't want to start a family yet. I'm not saying he won't, but as of right now, that's the farthest thing in his mind. And so if you're already there, the more you try to control it, the more out of control he's going to get. This is tricky for you here because I mean, clearly you have to let him know you don't like it, but the more you push him, the worse it's going to get, in my opinions. Whew. You got to start preparing here, young lady. This is not going to go well here. In my opinion, this is not going to go well. You got to start thinking big picture. Yeah, I don't know. Case, what do you think?
I agree with everything you're saying, Douglas. And it reminds me of a famous line from a famous movie. The movie is called Titanic, and the line is, "Iceberg straight ahead." And look, it gives us, because these are real questions that people ask us. It brings us no joy to say these things, and Doug and I have both been there. We've both been there, and here's based on the information we have. A lot of times, Doug will reference context and making sure we have the right context. Doug, I read something somewhere that males don't fully emotionally develop in their brain literally till they're like 25 years old. If we have any doctors or psychiatrists out there, my point is, he's not even fully developed emotionally yet. And he's if he's doing things like telling someone they need to get in the gym, telling someone, hey, you've those are just nasty, immature things that you don't do that. You just don't do that. It sounds like he's out creating a new life without you at this point. If he's going out with clients and if he has female clients and he's in Chicago and he's 22 years old, my goodness gracious. Can you imagine, Doug? 22 years old. I mean, golly. So yeah, look, I guess anything can happen. I mean, miracles can happen, I guess. I would highly suggest, based on the information we have here, young lady, yeah, the sooner you hit the iceberg, sink to the bottom of the ocean, rise again. In other words, the sooner that this thing, I'd cut myself. I'd cut myself out of this one if I were you. And it's tough. I know you don't want to hear that, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't, unless, hey, one of your choices, what are you going to do, right? Let's say, oh, I'm just going to do everything to appease him. I'm going to start going to the gym. That's no way to live your life. Doing things for another human being because they tell you're not good enough for me. Come on. I don't have any time or patience for that. You know what I'm saying, Doug?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, and that's
Follow your heart, girl. Follow your heart. It doesn't sound good right now. A 22-year-old, and there's,
I
gosh,
mean, clearly her antennas are up. She wrote to us, and there's a reason.
yep, yep.
Follow your instinct here.
A lot of guys out there that would treat you great, appreciate you for who you are, what you are, why you are. All right, Douglas. On that note, it's time to wrap it up. But before we do, as always, the people, the masses, the audience, do you have any parting words of wisdom? Any advice from the PGA professional himself? The forum is yours.
Well, I really haven't thought about this, but I can come up with something here.
Go ahead.
So this weekend, we have the Lima Masters Scramble event that we will be partaking in. There's a lot of different strategies when it comes to scrambles. So I know a lot of you playing your golf outings. I guess the one thing I would say here in the scramble is you've got to decide beforehand if you're there to win, if you're there to compete, or if you're there to party. Okay? And if you're there to compete and you're there to win, let's come in there with the strategy with your team. You got to be a team. No one person can win a scramble. It's got to be a team effort. I'm telling you. Scrambles are no joke. The format equalizes. You have 4 great players on one team, and you got 2 great players and 2 average players on another team. In a scramble, either one of those teams can win. Why? Because the 4 great players all hit. You're only taking one of those shots. And the other team, they only need to take one of those shots. So what it comes down to is putting. It comes all down to putting in these scrambles. It's very balanced. So I would highly recommend you get a good rotation with your squad. You figure out who's going to lead off, whose strengths, whose weaknesses, where they're at. For our team Saturday. Let's talk about our team Saturday. We've got Casey, not the longest hitter. He's very steady off the tee. He's going to put you in play. He's going to lead off. He's our leader. He's our Ricky Henderson.
Right.
Then we've got Joe Caprella, our wild card. I know very little about his game other than what Casey's told me. He shows flashes of brilliance, and he can have a lot of down holes. He's kind of the wild card. He's our 2-hole hitter.
Great two slot hitter.
Yeah, he's the guy. That 2-hole guy is the guy that anything he gives you, you're like, damn, we'll take that. That's great. That's awesome. That's the guy that everything's a bonus. Now you got your 3-hole. Our 3-hole is going to be my brother Josh. Josh is a very good player. He's a solid on most teams. I think he'd be a good A player. But he's a very, very good B player. He hits it a long way. If he's hitting the driver in play, it's not only going to free me up, but there's many times we'll just simply take his tee shot. He can get the ball on par 5s in 2. He's streaky with the putter. He can make some putts. really you need putters. I wish Josh was a better putter. Dang, I wish he was a better putter. But you know what? Hopefully he'll be rolling the rock come Saturday. And then you want to get your most complete player kind of in the back and the reason you do that is because they're going to typically face the most pressure situations throughout the round. So if the guys in front of you are struggling and you got one shot left, there's a lot more pressure on that fourth guy. So you want a guy who's got a little bit more experience, that's been in that situation before, that's got a better chance of coming through and helping the squad. If you put, like the number 2 guy in that 4 slot, there's a very good chance with, his ability combined with his experience and skill level, he's got a much better chance of failing in that situation, which is why the order in a scramble is important. Okay, so think these things through, get your order set, have a little camaraderie, and be ready to go. Don't get out there and shotgunning beers on the second hole. That's for the birds. Forget that. Be ready to go. Compete.
Have a game plan, strategy.
Don't try to pencil whip anybody. Nobody likes pencil whippers and scrambles. Play right.
No,
Play the right way.
no.
Whatever happens, happens.
No one likes pencil whippers in life. All right. Doug Wade, as always, fantastic advice. I don't know about everybody else, but I love it. I love listening to it at the end. And it's been a joy. And my friend, I'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
And for everybody out there, we will report on the flip side when we have that beautiful trophy in hand. All right, Doug. So thank you so much. Until next time, my friend, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
You too. Do you believe this stuff that's coming out of your mouth? There's no way you do it.
This was a credit card cuckold.
Love wins out in the end,